Welcome, everyone. How y'all doing? Um, this is the relaunch of my show, Kandid Konversations. My name is Kire Senoj. Welcome. This show will be a talk show, but we'll talk about everything from sex, religion, politics, entertainment, pop culture, anything that you want to talk about. We can talk about. You can let me know. I'll give out my email address at the end, and you can be a guest on the show as well. Some days I have guests, as today I have two conversationalists. Some days it'll just be me and you talking. And right now, today's show topic is the Black community. We talk about reparations. We'll hit on everything dealing with the Black community and how we can heal, what we need to do. So I have two conversationalists with me today. First up is a young man who you know from my previous platforms and also from last time he was on my show, Kandid Conversations. Very knowledgeable, loves his people, and that's why I always keep in touch with him. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kang Melanin. Hello? Oh, wait a minute.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. It was me. Yeah. Okay. How you doing?
What's up?
What's up? So, my second conversationalist for the evening is a brother who, as our state of Texas as well, name is Roshard. Give it up for Roshard, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
So, as I said, tonight's conversation, we're going to deal with the Black community. And please, you all have any questions you want to get into the conversation, get all into it. And okay. Hey, Kevin. So, first on the list, what do you guys want to start? We're going to start with reparations, or you want to start with? No, I know where I want to start. One thing about these brothers is they are members of ADOS, and so am I. And I want them to talk about ADOS, and I mean the meaning, the purpose, and also clear up any misconceptions, because I have heard many misconceptions from people that I know personally and from what I've read. One thing about these brothers is they are members of ADOS, and so am I. And I want them to talk about ADOS, and I mean the meaning, the purpose, and also clear up misconceptions, because I have heard many misconceptions. Okay. That I know personally and from what I've read. Well, that is a mishap. Shit happens. I don't know what that was.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So, who want to go first? Kang or Roshard?
Well, since this is Rashad's first time, I'll go ahead and extend him to have the first go at it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes. I was asking you to break down ADOS, the meaning, the what's it about, how it came to be, and clear up any misconceptions.
Okay. So ADOS is a movement that was founded by Yvette Cornell and Antonio of Tone Talks and Breaking Brown family. It means American descendants of slavery. And basically what it is it's an agenda for Black people, specifically ADOS, okay? And what that means is, for those of you who are confused about what ADOS is, it's people whose lineage is here, okay? I'm a proud supporter of this movement because it's something that I can, I guess, for lack of a better term, stick my teeth in and really go hard and support, because it speaks to me and my life as a Black man, or not even just a Black man, as a Black person, ADOS, living in America. So this is something that I can fully be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it speaks to my soul. It's something that I really love, and I'm glad that they founded this. I'm glad that it's something that really speaks to me. It's about reparations, and it's about a strategic Black agenda that benefits, like I say, Black America as far as ADOS.
Okay. Did you want to add something to that, King?
I think a lot of misconceptions that are about ADOS are anti-immigrant, where I can't even think of the term. It's not an anti-immigrant organization. it's an organization that is specifically for American descendants of slavery. There is an overall Black agenda, as Roshard stated, that will encompass and embody Black Americans in the country, but this political reparation specifically is for ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. So it is a political movement about your lineage here in America. So that's, in short, what it is.
Okay. So the political movement, because when you were on last time, we talked about voting, and you had said you put ADOS on the ballot. Do you all think they will ever put a member of ADOS in office?
No. Not voting the way that we're voting. If we change
Exactly
our voting strategy, I do think that it's possible.
Yeah. And how do we change the voting status?
Me, Roshard.
Yeah. I'm like,
Well, I feel like we can't vote specifically because someone cloaks us up in Blackness or ADOSness, or specifically because someone pretends to be allied to the Black community. A lot of times our vote is persuaded by imagery. Our vote is persuade by, or I guess, geared towards who appears to be down, instead of who is addressing the issues, who is addressing what's going on as Black Americans. So we never had anybody in office that specifically done anything specifically for us. So, and I know I'm probably jumping right now, but Biden had a whole Lift Every Voice Act that no one has heard of since he announced it in 2020. Mm-hmm. Now, his first 100 days in office, he has done something. He has signed an executive order for DACA. You understand what I'm saying? But that's specific. If you think about it, that's specific to that group of who it benefits. Okay? Right. So we want something that benefits us as well. So therefore, I think we should start voting in a way that, we address our issues. And it has to be a collective issue. Everything that we're fighting for individually will be addressed under the ADOS reparations movement and Black agenda.
Okay. Now, with that being said, because you said we should jump in there and vote because he's doing XYZ for this specific group. One thing that I've noticed is, like the gays and whoever else wants something, they keep their foot on their neck. All it takes for us is to hear them accountable. Promise. Right. If we hear a promise, then we jump when we own it. And then after that, and then we'll sit back and say, well, he ain't doing nothing. Or you have people that make an excuse that say, well, he just got in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he just got in there, but he signed 50. He signed 50 executive orders.
Listen.
None of them are for us. Even though, my problem with it is he fought hard. He went hard in the paint to get the Black vote. Because everybody kept saying black vote. So when Kang Melanin on the last time, that was my problem. I said, you know what? I honestly regret my vote because I don't think he's going to do nothing for us. And like, he went hard in the paint, but we're not getting anything. We never do. So what do you all, either one of you, well, Dave, King Melanin, you talked this time. What do you think will happen? If we put our foot on that, what will it take for us to come together and put our foot on the politician's neck to get what we want, or get what we need? It ain't about one, it's need.
Well, one strategy would be to adopt the ADOS movement, to adopt those principles, to get a political education. Like Roshard said, their YouTube channels are Breaking Brown, that's Nick Cornell's YouTube channel, and Antonio Moore's YouTube channel is Tone Talk. They have all the data, they have all the information. One's a lawyer, one works for Capitol Hill. They're very knowledgeable, and they have a lot of experience in this political realm that we're in. So that's one way, is to listen to them and adopt some of those practices and principles.
Okay. So now one thing, because I want to talk about reparations. So reparations, for anyone who, if you don't know, is the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to an otherwise helping those who have been wronged. So in other words, if you've been wronged, then they're going to pay for it. It seems like everyone around us is receiving reparations The Jews received it. Now the Asians are receiving it for the Asian hate.
Okay.
But we haven't received anything. But yet our vote is most important. And so it says, so I also found that slavery reparations seems impossible. Like I said, yet it's happening in several other places. So 74% of adults are in favor of reparation payments, while 85% of whites are opposed to them. So if 74% are for, what about the other 26? Where do they fall?
Coons.
And what?
Those who want to ingratiate themselves into whiteness, those who aren't proud of their lineage and proud of the fight that their ancestors fought. They're ashamed of it. We're still here. That's something within itself. The fact that we're still here, that we're not dead, that we haven't died off, and that we're still fighting. So I feel like that 26% for those ones that would have stayed on the plantation and reported, the others trying to escape. That's who that 26%.
Yeah, and then so another thing is the HR 40 bill is a bill that's 30 years old, 30, and has yet to reach a vote. There are some local approaches. Like in 2015, Chicago, Illinois enacted a reparations ordinance, which made ADOS given towards ADOS people towards the police who were brutalized by the police from 1970s to 1990s. And then the law calls for $5.5 million in financial compensation, as well as more monies for a public memorial, along with a range of assistance related to health, education, and emotional well-being. That can all help them, all, but is that really enough? And that's not even for slavery. That's for police brutality, which is still not stopped. So then how can we? That's another question I have. What can we do? What can we do about the police? People keep saying defund the police, but exactly what is defund the police? Either one of y'all.
Kang.
Well, defund the police is something that I feel like should occur, but that's not the answer. We have to be normalized as American citizens. It's about citizenship. And we're not recognized as citizens, we're recognized as other. The assumption when it comes to us is that we don't have any wealth, that we don't have any education, that we're, gangsters and thugs, and they don't really have any assumptions about anyone white because they're normalized in this society. So the assumption with someone white, I don't know who this person is. They could be a person of power, a person of wealth, someone to get me fired. I don't know who this person is, so I have to approach them differently. The assumption made about us is because we're ADOS, that we don't have any wealth, because 9 times out of 10, it is someone they're pulling over that doesn't have any wealth. So they treat us differently. So that's not the end-all be-all. The end-all be-all is normalization. And reparations is what normalizes us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It levels. I just want to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
It levels the playing field. It puts us in a position where we can be successful, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, we're perceived as not having wealth. So when we do get a little bit of money, we have to prove to them, we can sit at the same table. You know what I'm saying? In our actuality, it's not necessarily a seat at the table. Or we can prove to them that we can buy this too. But see, we're spending income. They're spending wealth.
Right. That's true. Now, Dante asked a question. He said, does ADOS have a leader, or is it community driven like BLM?
I wouldn't necessarily say that Tone and Yvette are the leaders. I don't think that there's a designated leader, but they are the founders.
Right.
So like leadership, I wouldn't necessarily say that there's been a designated leader for the movement. No.
Yeah, I don't think it's like FBA, Foundation of Black Americans. There's no leader. It's just a group. It's just for us. Huh?
Yeah, like FBA. Don't do that. It ain't.
Okay, since you went there, let's go there.
FBA. So.
Let's go there. what I meant was there's no leader. Like they don't have a leader. It's just but it's the same thing. It's about lineage. And this is where I have a problem with it. I like ADOS and I like FBI. I don't like the person that created FBI. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with everything he says. But why can't, if we're all doing the same thing, why we can't come together? That's further division.
Well, FBA is just a carbon copy of ADOS. That's all it is.
And he said the same thing about ADOS. But I mean,
well, you have to look at what happened. You have to look at who was there first, who was founded first, who had the political movement and following first. And that was not Tariq Nasheed. That was Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. So that can be actually proven that is a carbon copy or a ripoff of ADOS. So it's not the same. And we can't get together because the FBA is more like it's not political. FBA is not political at all.
Right. It's not about political.
Right, but ADOS is.
So what's okay?
The sameness comes from the so-called lineage perspective. FBA are foundational Black Americans, meaning that you're a foundational Black American. You were here. You have your lineage is here. So the only thing that makes that, I guess, similar would be the ties to lineage.
Okay, and like Dante said, he said, I appreciate what Kyrie said about unity. Why is there division if the agenda is similar? Sounds like church. But why is the agenda
similar? Huh? The agenda isn't similar. The agenda, the agenda is not. Similarity. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, what I'm saying is the agenda is supposed to be about foundation. Well, American descendants of slavery and foundation of Black Americans, whichever one you call yourself. And I mean, so what is the agenda? What is the agenda of ADOS versus the agenda of FBA?
The agenda for ADOS is a political agenda about reparations. Foundation of Black Americans don't have a political agenda about reparations. The only thing that's similar is the point about lineage. That's it. That's the only similarity is the lineage part.
Because I've heard both talk about reparations.
Okay. Talking about reparations and being about and having a movement centered around reparations is different. You can talk about anything, but there's no political movement involving reparations.
Okay.
They're meeting with politicians and they have a political education. One is an attorney, an Emmy-nominated attorney, Antonio Moore, and one is actually a Howard graduate in political science, and she worked on Capitol Hill for several years. So none of it.
Well, you went in and out. Wait, Roshard. They repeat that. I mean, Kang, repeat what you said the last part.
I said, well, FBA doesn't have any of what I described.
Okay. Now go ahead, Roshard. Are you muted? You must have muted your mic. Can't hear you. Okay. Something's happening. Roshard's having technical difficulties.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to add that, you can't even see me. For me, the difference is one was created specifically for the ADOS community. Mm-hmm. The other one was created simply out of ego, and that's just my take on it. Because he could have just joined the ADOS movement, but he had to,
make it about himself. It has to be about him. It's about him. It's not about a movement.
Right.
So I agree that you're absolutely right.
Okay.
Because if it was the same thing, he would have just joined the ADOS movement. Like
and supported
and support. But he had to. It was driven out of ego, as a lot of what he does is. don't get me wrong, the messages are good. Like you said, Kyrie, I do love his work, but a lot of it is driven out of ego.
I 10,000% agree. I'm not a fan of his personally, but but I appreciate what he does. His work.
Yeah.
Like this new work he got coming out. I appreciate that. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, but I'm not a fan. But back to reparations. So now a lot of people voted for Joe Biden. And I in doing my research, I found out he is the only candidate that did not and will not look into reparations. So what are we voting for? What did we vote for? What did the people vote for exactly? In y'all opinion? Huh?
Symbolism. Donald Trump 2.0.
Barack Obama, the reincarnation of Barack Obama. People are hanging on to the memory of Barack Obama. So that's why they voted for Biden, to get remnants of Barack Obama. But you don't want any remnants of Barack Obama because he selected Joe Biden to be his vice president.
Right.
Enough said about Barack Obama's character right there, just based off of who he chose to be his vice president.
Now, okay, I have a question for Kang. Okay, it's a question for you. I heard Kang say the word coon. Do you guys consider any Black American who has not bought into ADOS as such?
No.
No, because see, the thing about it is, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to jump.
No, go ahead.
The ones that haven't bought into it, a lot of times we don't, as Black people, we don't a lot of times buy into stuff out of fear, out of ignorance, out of not caring to do the research, to understand what it is. So we automatically shun it. That's that Christian mentality, because you don't know someone's walk, they automatically beneath you or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like we have to understand, we have to be under something to get an understanding, if that makes sense.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get
because it. You can't look down upon something if you don't see what's going on in the inside. A lot of times, people feel like that's not going to help them. When here it is, reparations isn't just about financial. That's only a fraction of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, understand what I'm saying? This is something that, your kids can benefit, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids. It's kind of like what affirmative action was. Now everybody's getting in through affirmative action. It was created for us.
Well, yeah, but now do we allow people to come and take over, or do we
give it away?
Like, do we hand them shit? Cause like you said, they take it every time it's something for us. They take it.
We give it away. We like the illusion of inclusion, and therefore we try to include everybody because we've been cloaked under the illusion of inclusion for so long. When they don't understand that we only get what we get because we are American.
Right.
Not because it's specifically for us, but Well,
I think a lot of us suffer from a need of validation, and that's why we give it away. That's why it's a need for inclusion.
Yeah,
that's what that's why I like Kang said when I asked about voting. He said, "Well, I think it's what word did you use? It's shit. You said what did you say? Damn." You don't know what you said either?
Nope.
Okay, let's try it again. Take two. Okay. Why do people vote for Joe Biden? Because of what?
Symbolism.
Thank you. Okay, there it is. So, and I think it's validation. Because as long as we see melanin, it doesn't matter what the person thinks. It's just what we see.
Which is why she was on the ticket in the first place.
Right. Because
the white woman.
But here's my problem with that. With us. Because I felt that if he's gonna pick a sister, he should have picked a sister. And I thought he should have picked Stacey Abrams. And then so on Facebook, I saw where not white people, not people of color, but Black people were saying they didn't want to see her because one, she's fat, two, her hair is not professional. How conditioned are we? Now, how do we move out of conditions? That's the big question. How do we move out of conditions?
I don't know.
You have, I mean, I'm asking. I really would like to know because we are extremely conditioned.
It has to be a reconstruction of our mind.
Okay.
You know, just what reconstruction did, we're gonna have to do that. It's gonna have to be a purging of everything that we've been conditioned to believe. And the first thing starts from Black people accepting the purge. This is just my theory. You know what I'm saying? We're
But
gonna strip ourselves of everything that we was taught or know.
And that's hard. And that's hard. And I'm just speaking from my own experience. That's
very hard.
That's hard.
Because we are creatures of habit and is it familiarity?
Familiarity, yeah, something like that.
And anything that's probably new is uncomfortable or different, or adopting a different way of life is different for us. It's hard for us. That's why you got people that stay in some situations because it's comfortable.
Yeah, you get in that comfort zone,
mm-hmm.
and then
if I just keep my head down and do what I do, you know, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, and like me,
when you're not contributing to the growth,
right? But like me, when I had to unlearn some things. It was very, very hard. Like some things, I was like, yeah, I can.
And it's like, you know, I like to call it my third eye. You know, having my third eye really, it really changed my thought process. You know,
mm-hmm.
A lot of times I really can't enjoy things because of the way I see things. And that's that deconstruction, that reconstruction in my mind. You understand what I'm saying? It's like the ninjas, you know. It's like at first I was getting beat up, but it's like, oh, now I see you. Oh, you know, I was doing a matrix on them and stuff. So you have to really understand what is going on in America, and that it is a systematic attack. Okay?
But I think some people like to be blind, like they just, or they like to be in their comfort zone because it's more.
Does.
You said what?
I said everyone does. Everyone likes to be in their own comfort zone. No one likes to be outside of their comfort zone, and I think the fact that ADOS makes other people feel uncomfortable, they have these preconceived notions about it. Yeah. You know, it will actually force Black people to have to take responsibility for themselves and do something.
Yeah.
And Black people, ADOS people specifically, don't want to really take any accountability for their role that we have played in the system ourselves by staying the way that we are. So instead of facing that truth, they reject it. So that's the issue, is just really overcoming the rejection of the truth and accepting it and dealing with it and actually being brave enough to do something different that we've never done before.
Yeah, and I think some people think because we would have to, like you said, step out the comfort zone, then we would have to work. We have to work hard.
That means,
but I mean, we don't need everybody.
To the mirror.
We don't need everyone. No, we just need a mass. You know.
But but you gotta get it. But you gotta get a mass.
Critical mass. We don't need everyone. But I mean, that's a big trick. I mean, really, no one knows how to do that. We just kind of learn as we go. Okay, this didn't work. Let's try something else. Okay, this didn't work. Let's try something else. There's really no one has the answer.
But you got to get out there in order to even try.
Exactly. So that's why instead of rejecting that truth, they just need to accept it. Once that is done, then we'll be able to move forward in a different direction.
And and I think Kang said it like, you know, when someone feels that their comfort zone is being attacked, they become defensive. Because you're attacking, you know, what is comfortable to me.
Right.
So it's kind of like when we talk about Christianity, the Christians get all up in arms, but they know what we're saying is true.
I don't think so. A lot of them, I don't think so.
They do, because if the preacher is the only symbol of prosperity in the church, it's a problem.
I mean, yeah.
You know, if he's able to drive G-Wagons and Range Rovers, and you dropping a little putt-putt to church every Sunday, it's a problem. but you find a way to pay your tithes. it's a problem.
Now, since you said that, who has the problem? The preacher or the parishioner?
The parishioner.
Okay. Now,
because the thing about it is the preacher is teaching it. And this is my thought process. The preacher is teaching it, but the preacher knows what he's preaching doesn't make sense. But because this money is coming in, because he's human. So there's no way he's practicing everything he preached. Let's be clear.
Well, he's not about to give up his check. He even give a check. At all.
So there's no way that he's practicing everything that he preaches. That's impossible. So he understands that I'm lying to these people, but keep them dollars coming.
Yeah, I heard Kevin Wesley say that. He was like, he knows pastors personally who don't believe what they're preaching, but they're not going to give up their bag. And I was like, I've always believed that. I believe there's gospel singers who don't really want to sing gospel, but that I don't think that has anything to do with money. I think that's more of what people will think of me, or what my family will think of me.
Yeah.
It's that it's when you go through a thing with Christianity, it's sometimes like that, because like when I first stopped being a Christian, I was like, what people gonna say? And then sure enough, I had a couple people like kind of threatened to take their friendship away from me or whatever. But I'm like, our friendship was never predicated on religion, so I don't understand that. But we are so ingrained in Christianity. It's like, yeah. But until said, I think that we definitely have to undo the conditioning of wanting to force a place at the table. I agree. It's like forcing someone who doesn't like you to invite you to a party. Okay, you get the invite, but it doesn't mean that the person has to be nice. It just means they'll find even sneakier ways to tear that person down. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think he was doing that. Now, Dante said, I think it's unfair to generalize all Christians. Yeah,
it's not a general concept. If
you notice certain characteristics amongst a certain group of people as a consistent pattern, you can generalize that group. In general doesn't mean every single person. General does not mean all. It means in general. So I think you can generalize people. You can generalize and say that most black people are living in poverty in the United States. Every single black person isn't living in poverty in the United States, but so many of us are that you can generalize this group and say this is a group that doesn't have any wealth.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You can generalize Christians. Yeah. You can generalize groups.
Yeah. Wow.
Generalization.
Derek Hinton, what is insanity? Please elaborate. I knew he was gonna have something. I will go back to the police because you said defund the police. Now, because my question was, what are we going to do and what will it take? But now, how defund the police? I've heard so many different definitions. Define what you mean by defund the police.
Okay. That's what that means to me when I hear defund the police.
Okay, so reparations. Now, if they give us reparations, like I said, because Chicago started in 2015. So how will that change? Because there's still police brutality happening.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So giving us reparations is going to do what?
It's going to normalize it. See, there's a political agenda attached with the financial aspect of reparations. That's why it's a political movement, which means legislation, protection. There would be a hierarchy. There would be consequences. All of this legislatively is a part of the ADOS movement. It's politics. It is a political movement. I cannot stress that enough. The avenue to which we want to get reparations is through politics.
Okay.
So if we are normalized, because I made the comparison earlier about normalization and the way that we're viewed and the assumption that's made about us based off of police, which fuels the reason to be brutal against us, is because we haven't been normalized. Reparations will normalize us as citizens because we're not seen as citizens.
Okay. Lisa McDuffie. Okay. You came in late because you said, what do you expect reparations to be? Financial or change in legislation? He talked about that earlier. He was saying not only financial, but that
it encompasses
the movement.
Everything. Yeah.
It's a
Political movement.
So let me just this isn't a reparations movement. It is a political movement for reparations. By the way that we're going to get reparations is through politics. It's through legislation. It's through protections. It's through all these things that need to be done.
Now, okay, Dante asked. Okay, what? Now, Dante, to answer your question, as far as me, no. Politics is not my strong suit. He asked, are any of you involved in legislation or plan to pursue political office? I've talked to Kang. He keeps saying no. I think he would be great at it, but yeah.
This is my role right here in the movement.
Yeah.
You have your agitators. You have those that are political. You have the ones that are going the front lines. Everyone has their niche role in the entire movement. And this is my role, getting the word out, letting people know about ADOS and what it is. This is my role. I don't have any desire to do anything outside of this role that I'm in right now.
Yeah. You don't, but you would be really good if you did take a step up leadership role. You'd be good at it. Just my opinion. Lisa said, spot on. I agree. It's political. Okay, we can, as the people, influence it though. How? I'm asking Lisa. How? How? Yeah. If we can't agree to come together. We have two groups with the same agenda, but they're still separate. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. We have two groups with similar agendas.
No, the agenda is not similar. The only part that's similar is the foundation of where
two groups
come from is the lineage.
Okay. Let me rephrase. I don't want to offend nobody, especially my conversationalists. I don't want to offend. Okay. We have two groups, and they both consist of Black American people, and we can't even come together on that. Why are we so fucking divided? I hate that we are divided because we fight everybody. Everybody else fights us, but yet still we keep fighting each other.
The thing about it
is necessary.
So let me tell you this, and I want to just, I guess, kind of touch on what you're just saying. Why we're so divided.
Okay.
So society has made us the first Black in everything. Okay, the first Black this and the first Black that, and you know what I'm saying. So everybody want to be the first Black this and the first Black that, and you know what I'm saying. So a lot of it is ego driven, which is what FBA was founded on. Ego. You understand what I'm saying? And it's because there's no, like, even at the Grammys, Beyonce shouldn't be first Black female. The first female. Just say that. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that she was just the first artist.
So we have a thing where we don't want to join. We don't want to, okay, and I'm gonna say this, Mexicans are able to get ahead of us in a lot of ways, only because they understand unity. Okay,
they do.
They understand sacrifice. So
they understand separation too.
I won't speak to her for about 5 or 6 years, but the Mexicans have 20 to a house, and no shade, but we need listen. The Mexicans will have a party wherever. Okay, I've seen moon bounces in apartment complexes. You understand what I'm saying? But we go have to spend that money at Chuck E. Cheese and all that shit. But the thing about it is, no, there needs to be a collectively saying, hey, because you're my sister, I'm gonna ride for you. The same with white people. They will fight amongst themselves every time, but when it's against the enemy, they join together. When it's against the enemy, we're gonna fight later, but we'll be more happy to go out there and beat their whole down. Real talk.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all answer this because I'm gonna say no. For clarity, ADOS is just seeking reparations for descendants of slavery and not all Black Americans. But aren't all Black Americans descendants of slavery?
No. Is Barack Obama a descendant of slavery?
No.
He's not a Black American.
He is a Black American. He's a Black American. He was born in Hawaii, and his father is Black. Is he?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Hold on.
But to answer Dante's question,
yeah. Kamala is classified as a Black American, yes?
but she's not.
But she's not ADOS. So
Right.
yeah, it is specifically for ADOS and not all Black Americans, but there is a Black agenda in the political part. Reparations is specifically for ADOS. We are our own specific group. We are the only group in America that has had all these things happen to them.
Yes.
Immigrants that immigrated, that came here from Kenya, from the Congo, from Jamaica, wherever they came from, the Caribbean, they don't have our justice claim. The justice claim for us as ADOS is because of slavery, what we didn't get during Reconstruction, everything that happened during Jim Crow, all of that happened to us as a group. It didn't happen to everyone else. No. You having a lived experience and experiencing racism here because you chose to come over here is just something that you're going to have to deal with. You can go back if you don't like it. You can go back, and then when you come over here, you inherit the debt. The debt is the debt. America owes us the debt, and as an immigrant, you inherit that, and you don't get a piece of it.
Yeah.
Right. Now, see, so what Dante was asking was the same thing that I read, because, Roland Martin is pissed because he's Haitian. Yeah, so you don't qualify. And a lot of them are mad about that. But it is what it is. I mean,
and that's why it's about lineage. It's not about just being Black. It's about you being able to trace your ancestry back to slavery.
Right.
The Black agenda is for the lived experience. If you come over here, you just have to experience racism, not getting along, stuff like that, discrimination thing.
Yeah.
But the lineage part is solely for us and no one else.
For us, right? Yeah, and that I agree with.
I'm sorry, I want to address a comment. Someone said maybe we should start living 22 in an apartment to save for their house. Maybe. You understand what I'm saying? Because the likelihood of you buying it by yourself may be slim and none.
Right. Now, Lisa McDuffie. You said it's a good question. That was a good. Many people. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going back. Lisa, it's impossible, but it's not impossible to find out your lineage. I don't think it's impossible because you can do the DNA testing.
Yeah, you can do the DNA test.
Right. That's not impossible.
And then people have all you have to do is just go to your aunt, your uncle, your grandfather. You go to the medical records. Go to wherever those are and wherever you're from.
Yeah, right, because I know my lineage, so it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Not at all.
And also, the thing about it is, and I want to bring this up. As long as I've known this woman, I never knew that she wasn't ADOS, and that's Cicely Tyson, because she never said anything about any other heritage, or from my knowledge. If Kamala was ADOS, she would not have had to bring up the fact that she was Brahmin Indian and Jamaican, Haitian, whatever.
Jamaican and Indian.
So the fact of the matter is she ran her whole campaign as a immigrant. Because that was the thing she talked about the most was her Brahmin Indian side.
She did it for a minute. And then she did then she started using the black card because she started playing I went to Howard and now I'm an AKA. Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
but then out of this side of her mouth, she said, "I'm not doing nothing with Black people." So
exactly,
yeah. Then there's
like,
that.
You can't weave in and out, which is the thing that upset me with Mexicans. They have the ability to weave in and out of Blackness and whiteness. They in that middle. Because
so Lisa said. You can, but it doesn't prove lineage, really. She said, "I know mine as well. We're mixed with so much." True, but we're still.
Yes.
I mean,
whether you're mixed with anything or not, you still have that bloodline. So because of that, you would still be entitled to that.
Yes. Right. Because it's washed out after so many generations. Like your family doesn't move back and forth from Nigeria to Houston. They don't. Your family doesn't go back and forth from India and Spain to Houston. So this is your country. I don't know your life, but this is your country. Or for me, this is my country. I don't have no country to send money home to. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. So she ate off all damn day. She I know her personally. She's ate off Now Edria said there's always ancestry.com, and you can also check with the Mormons. They are large keepers of records around the world. Okay, well, thank you. I didn't know that about the Mormons. Thank you, Edria.
When a motherfucker stays at the Western Union, wiring money back home, their lineage ain't here.
Facts. Now,
because what they're doing is they spend the resources from here and shipping it back home so they can go live like kings and queens over there.
That's true. So now you said, Kang, you said reparations as far as police go. So what are your thoughts on these payouts versus, because I got payouts versus real justice? You got Brown Taylor's mom got 12 million, and you got George Floyd's family got the 27 million. So is that reparations or?
Yeah, but it's financial reparations. It is reparations because you're repairing some of the damage that you've done, right?
And it's also
or other
reparations and hush money.
Not for me. Now, this is just speaking for me, for Kyrie. If that was Lester Jones laying on that ground and that man had his foot in my daddy's neck, 27 million, which 40% of it going to my lawyer, it's not going to help heal me. It's not going to help repair me.
I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what I was saying was it is reparations by definition, right? But it doesn't do anything legislatively. They're not held accountable, so this just gives permission for this to happen again.
Yeah.
And who's to say that this next family that this happens to will even get that, because a lot of families don't get any type of financial reparations and or justice at all whatsoever. So by definition, yes, that is reparations. But what ADOS does is going to give you what they got from the police department to pay out, plus the protection moving forward, plus the changes, plus the legislation that we deserve and the protections that we deserve.
It'll make ADOS a protected group.
Okay, well, not with this, in my opinion, that $27 million, in my opinion, said shut the fuck up. Because when he go home, when Derek Chauvin leave that courthouse, he going the fuck home. He's not going to no jail. This is the money here. You take this and you shut the fuck up and be happy you got this money. Because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's why I said that's not yeah.
It's very much hush money. Like, so I don't know if everybody saw the Billie Holiday movie.
Yeah, I did.
So in the beginning of the movie, they talk about lynching and how it has yet to be passed. And they also brought it up towards the end, with the Emmett Till Act, how it has yet to be passed. This is so that it can happen again. Okay? Yeah. Stand your ground is basically lynching. If I feel threatened, you understand what I'm saying? If I feel like you're finna attack me, I can shoot you and kill you dead. You know what I'm saying? So, that is something that is going to continue to happen. They're not going to pass that.
Well, no, but that only works for white, because now a police officer on that same police force, a black man killed a white woman. He said it was on accident. I don't know. He shot and killed her. They gave him 12 years. And that trial went like that. This trial that took forever, and now they're just now picking jurors. They have I think it's 8 white jurors total on that 12 jurors and 8 of them are white. So yeah, because he's going home.
So this is what happens. So they want to see how much publicity this is going to get, okay? Mm-hmm. And they won't start doing anything until they see that the attention of it is rising, But if we like we often do, we'll march for a minute and die down. You understand what I'm saying? So they understand this. They spent their whole life studying our pathology, okay? Studying how we move, how we think. They know how we vote, which is why they don't have to promise us shit, because they know how we vote.
Right.
I lost my point. But they have studied this thing to a degree of, and I'm pulling now because I lost my point. Dang. Lord.
Put that margarita down.
Okay. I'm trying to be candid over here now. But yeah, I lost it.
Oh.
It'll
Hey
come back.
everybody. Hey Mysterious Lions. Hey. Okay, well now I want to get into this part because me and Roshard was talking earlier. And I said before we do any of that, before we get into that fight, we have to deal with us and the black family. And there's so much trauma going on in the black family. And I brought it because of recent thing with Kirk Franklin. I do think that if he was Kirk Franklin, the garbage man, nobody would give a fuck. But I don't like how people are coming at his son. Granted, I don't believe Kirk owed nobody an apology because that's between him and him.
How they coming at his son?
Oh, saying that, deal with it. This gospel singer, she posted on his page, you need to take this shit down. You bogus as hell. And that's between him and his daddy. And then you have other people telling he's spoiled, he this and he's that. But I think that's wrong because people don't recognize it's trauma. And what they don't see, you see this grown man. But like I tell people, I don't give a fuck how old you are. Every man wants a relationship with his father. Yeah. You can say, I don't need him. This is you can say it always what you want to. But deep down, every man wants a relationship with his father, a healthy relationship. Not something. And to me, yeah, your father, me and my father, just tell my shit. We cussed each other out, but he never. By my daddy being a street dude, he always taught me that the word bitch is the most disrespectful thing you can call a man. So whenever I'm cussing somebody out and I use that word bitch, I mean, because I am the best at being disrespectful than a motherfucker. But I don't do it to people that I love. If I love you, I would never cuss you out like that.
Yeah.
I would never cuss Miss Lisa or Dante out like that. Because I love y'all. I mean, and I have control. I think Kirk lost control, and I think that's who he is. But how can we heal the trauma within us before we go out here and fight for $8 fight for anybody else?
Kang, you want to go?
Therapy.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
Now, okay, I like that.
But you have to be open to do the work. But a lot of times we be scared of therapy as Black community, but you gotta be willing to do the work. I mean, open up. It ain't like talking to somebody who don't know you. And I mean, yeah, it's the tea.
Dante made me laugh. I almost spit my drink out. Okay.
But I wanted to add this really quickly.
Good.
So the whole Kirk Franklin situation is, I don't think he lost control. Because I wouldn't say that my mom lost control when she was chastising me or reprimanding me. I would say that my mom was correcting me. And that's how we know how to correct.
Now, where does that come from? Because I don't have to call you a bitch to correct you.
But the thing about I know my mama bitches come with love. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't, she didn't think I was the scum of the earth. Like she wouldn't spit on me if my guts was on fire. But it was like sometimes there's no other way to get your point across without a proverbial fuck you or get your ass out my face kind of thing. And I don't know, because I just felt like because he's who he is, that's why he's experienced what he's experiencing.
Well, I said that because if he was Kirk Franklin, the garbage man, or Kirk Franklin, the blue collar worker, nobody would give a damn.
No, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, but because he's a gospel singer, and then you had the church people. Well, now you did have the church people coming to Kirk talking about something. He shouldn't have cursed, and I can't believe you cursed, blah blah. And I'm like, y'all don't curse.
That's why, and to piggyback off of that, I'm sorry. Derek had said a point, that he didn't think that our preachers don't believe what they preach. Every preacher I know has cursed, has lusted, has done everything under the sun. They still living in their flesh. We put them as pedestals. And I think Karen had made a great point about we look at them for the imagery and not necessarily to deliver the word. And once they're once they're proven themselves human, we on to the next symbol that proves to be the life I want to live. Did I word it right, Kang?
Yeah, you did. You did good.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but you're right. But you're right. It's similar because, or even if he was an R&B singer, it still wouldn't be being talked about.
It probably would, because we look at our R&B, we look at our celebrities to be examples and role models.
And why is that?
Have no idea.
Because celebrities, like I tell people, celebrities, I got a few of them that I'm friends with. They're human beings. They think like we think. They act like we act. They talk the same shit we talk. But the only thing is they can't, like some of the shit I talk about with them, they can't say in an open forum.
Yeah.
Because they'll be ridiculed.
Yeah. And the thing about it is,
or canceled.
We shouldn't know that Whitney had a drug problem. That woman just gave us everything on stage. We got our money's worth. We bought the album. We living. Why do we care how these people are living? Why do we care what they do? That's their job. That's not who they are.
Right.
So it becomes a problem when it triggers from the stage to the home. We should know what goes on in their house.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I like their music. I'm gonna still buy it. People like to say Brandy is a bitch, and they like to say Brandy, I'm stuck about her album. I love her.
Right. I don't care about I don't care what you do. If you make good music, I'm getting it.
I'm buying it. I'm sorry.
Lisa McDuffie, if you don't knock it off, I do like my pastors to be holy.
Imagery. Because you're not holy.
Child.
I'm not saying you're not holy. But
she just talking shit, but go ahead.
But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, we want the pastor to be this image of perfection. Because we not. So we look for stuff in other people to fill us up instead of filling ourselves up first.
Right. Well, Whitney got sloppy with her drug use. Not really, Lisa. She didn't really. People put it out there.
Like she told Wendy, y'all keep me in the media.
Right.
I'm just trying to mind my business and maintain what I got.
Right. People idolize celebrities as if they are different than because they're on TV. That's true. And then, right. That's true. They do. They do. So you said now, but go back to what Kang said with therapy. But people have to do the work with therapy. Like you just can't go. I can't just go and talk to my therapist. Like my therapist who will get in my shit. I can't just go there and talk to her and not do the work outside of that. You gotta put in the work. That still take work. Are people willing to put in the work?
That's a part of therapy. That's doing the work.
It's a part of it, but people don't. Everybody don't do it.
No point of going.
Now that's what I say. If you're not gonna do it,
that's why. Like if you're gonna go to therapy, like you're gonna do the work. Like why would you go if you're not gonna do the work? So
you're not gonna do the work.
Yeah, that was the implication for me.
So that's a waste of money. Unless they free sessions, you wasting your money.
You don't waste. Well, even if you didn't waste the money, you wasted your time. We have to stay. LaShawn said we have to stay committed to wanting change by putting those who want it for us in office. But you don't went back to political. But who wants it for us? Is my question. Nobody wants it for us. And when I say us, I mean Adolph's people. So Black Americans.
And that's the importance of Democrat down ballot. You have to reject the presidency. They're gonna give us that candidate. We don't want that one. Who else you got? You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes, you know what I'm saying, because they don't understand what Democratic down ballot is. People think that, that's voting for Trump. You want Trump in office. No, that's saying I want a candidate that's going to represent me. I have the right to withhold my vote for the presidency. I voted for everybody else. I voted for the chief and the garbage man and all of that, but I have to withhold my vote because the thing about it is people like to say that's local politics where they, stop the police brutality. That's for the statewide or whatever. So why does the president need a campaign to run on? He should just run on pure likability. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is what's going to stand up when it's time to hold somebody accountable. Okay? This is when it's time to be enforcing impeachments. You know, the thing about it is we wanted to impeach Donald Trump because he was blatantly racist or he was blatantly a bigotry. But he
Joe
didn't
Biden,
do shit. He didn't say that he was going to do anything for us. His whole campaign was "Make America Great Again," whatever the fuck that looks like.
I want to
you know what it looks like, huh?
I said I want to answer Derek's question. He said, "But what does withholding your vote do?" Well, it administers a consequence to the party. The consequence being you're not doing anything for us. You haven't made any promises to us. So we're not going to give you the White House. You want the White House, you're going to have to earn the White House. We are the reason that you get the White House every time the Democratic Party wins. It's a DOF vote. We're the largest voting bloc in the country. The white vote is split, 60-40, 60% being Republicans, 40% being, Democrats. Every other group's votes are split. Yeah. We have the largest voting bloc. The Latinos should be disaggregated, because all the Hispanics and Latinos aren't the same. Some are from Cuba, some are from Venezuela, some are from Mexico. But they're all lumped together, but they don't vote as a bloc. They're disaggregated. We vote as a bloc. We vote as a bloc, so we are the largest voting bloc. So if the majority of the largest voting bloc withholds their vote and does not give them the White House every 4 years, they're going to chase after us. They don't chase after us or solicit our vote because they already know that they have it, right? They're chasing after those Hispanic votes with DACA. This is just for their political party later on. They're doing this to further their political careers later.
Right. They don't even come chasing the Hispanic campaign in the South.
Now, and one thing when I was doing my research, that's a part. The guy who wrote the article, that is a part of. He was saying how ADOS has divided people. That's why Joe Biden came after the black vote, because ADOS they feared ADOS was going to divide the vote, and a lot of people wasn't going to vote. But people like me, who I have already declared,
the Hispanic vote, and we did.
Okay, right. I guess. Well, listen, I withhold my vote. This was my last time voting in the presidential election. I will vote in my local elections, but the presidential election.
Well, I mean, it's not my last time voting in the presidential election. It's just right, yours. It's not my last time voting in the presidential election because there's a possibility for the right candidate to be selected if we change the way that we administer or dial out our vote in the before the primary, like before that.
Yeah, because the thing about it is,
because they choose who they want us to have.
Yeah,
right.
They chose Biden. We didn't choose him. Yeah. They selected him. The establishment chose him. They made everybody drop out, and we already told them that we didn't want Kamala. That's why she was the first one to drop out of the race. Our actions were letting them know we don't want her. But you force-fed us her. Put her on your ticket.
and the thing about it is, the reason why we didn't want her because she didn't know where she wanted to stand. She was too teeter-totter. She was too seesaw.
Well, she was going whichever way was going to be beneficial to her.
Like was going to give her the most.
Yeah.
And it was like on one side,
One of y'all answered that. Is ADOS anti-white?
No.
No.
We pro-black though. We
pro-ADOS.
See, the thing about it is, and it was a thing that people misconstrued with the Black Panther movement. We're not anti-police or anti-white. Just because we want to empower ourselves, that make us anti something else.
Like, according to Michael, yeah.
So just think about it. You may be anti the next motherfucker next door because you're gonna look out for your family first, right?
Right.
I'll make sure my mama and my dad and my sister and them have before I give to anybody else. Basically, that's the same thing.
Right. Us first.
Yeah.
Y'all second. I
have to empower my people first. Y'all already have the power.
But we don't need to empower any other group. That's their responsibility to empower themselves. Our responsibility is to empower ourselves in our group, and their responsibility is to empower themselves in their group. We're not obligated to help them or give them anything. So that example that Roshard used, for me, I'm going to make sure that they're good first, and then I'm just going to make sure that we good. If you want yourself to be good, make yourself good. Stop jumping into our movement.
I'm going to look out for me first.
Right.
I'm gonna look out for
me and mine first.
What
Yeah,
reparations? I don't think there is no. There is no dollar.
There ain't no first. That's just
what reparations dollar amount are y'all seeking, and how do you feel it should be dispersed? I asked because I did an entire study on this and want to hear your thoughts.
Well, Ta-Nehisi Coates did an entire study on it, and it was somebody else that did. I think it was. I don't know the other person, but Ta-Nehisi Coates actually did a study on it, and he came up with a dollar amount based off of what we were worth back then, and kind of juxtapose that to what that would be worth with today's money. And it's a whole bunch of mathematics and stuff like that. I don't have a specific number. There is a number. ADOS101.com will give you that information.
You hear it on the ADOS.com.
ADOS101.
Oh, sorry. ADOS101.
Okay.
All right. Well,
and it's generational. It's not a one-time payment. It'll multi-generational, not 1 or 2 or 3 generations, but several generations. So that's how it's going to be first distributed.
This was discussed on Bill Maher's Bill Maher's? Okay. Bill Maher's a few weeks ago. Okay. Anyway, so I want to thank my conversationalists on tonight for being here. Thank you, Kang Melanin. Thank you, Roshard. Kang already know he's welcome here anytime. Roshard, I want to extend the invitation to you anytime you want to come on the show. Come on. If any of you in the audience,
yeah, you can do it. I was just saying that I don't have to be on here when he's on here. He can just come on his own.
No, but I'm saying that's what I meant. I didn't mean with you.
I know. I'm just saying I don't. You said he can come whenever, so he can come whenever. Yeah.
Right. That's what I meant.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure that we had that understanding, me and him, not you.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Roshard, but I'll definitely have Roshard back on. I see the people like him. I see Preach Roshard. Okay. But I want to thank you both for being here tonight for discussing this. We can have other conversations. We have conversations about anything. I like talking to y'all. Y'all are knowledgeable. If any of you in the audience want to come on, well, Miss Lisa will be here sometimes. You want to come on the show, email me at TSW T is in Tom, S is in shit, W is in walk, Kyrie, Kire at gmail.com. Let me know your idea. We can discuss some things. Or you can hit my inbox if you follow me on social media on Instagram or Facebook. Follow me and hit my inbox. We can discuss the things. You can come on the show. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. Because, like I said, we talk about anything from sex, religion, politics, entertainment, pop culture. I love you all for watching. I appreciate it. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share this channel. And I love you all for watching. I thank you so much. Thank you, Kang, again. Thank you, Roshard. Good night, everybody.
Good night.